Hey everybody, it's me, Corey, Normal Corey, here in Seattle, Washington. And please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, making music outside. And if you want to learn about making music outside on your MPC Live 2, click the link below. I've got a consultation, Google Meet, and I can help speed up your process and go over all the things that I've been struggling with. So let's go here. Today, what I wanted to talk about is why would you want to resample yourself? Now, MIDI's really cool. MIDI's really flexible. MIDI means that you can change the instruments that you have. MIDI means that you can change the quantization of the notes. And that's incredible, but sampling is really cool, and sampling can allow you to affect things in different ways. Now, whenever I first started making electronic music, I thought, hey, I only want to play my own original music, and I don't ever want to sample. I'm not a DJ, I play my own original music. The thing about it is that if you're making electronic music, even if you're playing all of your own samples, eventually you're gonna be making music with other artists, you're gonna be recording them. Eventually you're gonna be wanting to play your music back to people. So the skills and the arts of DJing and the arts of sampling ultimately will help you even with your own original music. So why do I sample myself? Because it's cool and it's fun. It can also add variation to simple things. So let's check out what we've got so far. I have a piano pulled up on my Hype synthesizer. Let's unmute it. Let's go to the arrangement so we can see these are all the MIDI notes in. So the cool thing about that is that we have everything here, and then we can move things around and we can edit everything. Another cool thing is, let's go back into plugin. I can change the different sounds of the piano that I want. I think I have one in mind that I want to do. So let's do this electric piano. What you've noticed, it's pretty easy for me to get it caught up and just listening to a lot of different sounds. And I think actually one of the benefits of sampling yourself is that once you've turned something into audio, there's variety that you can do, but it does limit your possibilities. I love that about MIDI, that MIDI just has constant variability. But there is also something really simple because it's just notes and they're being played, and there are benefits to sampling. So let's go ahead and let's re-sample ourselves. So what we need to do is we need to click on the arrangement, and right here we have a little pencil tool. Let's make sure that I have everything set up correctly. Okay, we only have a drum track that we're gonna play in later. So we have arrangement, we click in the pencil tool, and we say this button right here, bounce to sample. We could also bounce it to audio, and that would just be a simple loop. That's great, that's cool. I want to show you the benefits of sampling and what this MPC Live 2 is the best in the game at. So we're going to say bounce to sample. We're going to say no audio tell. We don't want an audio tell on there. We're just going to get a straight loop. So now let's press shift and let's go to sample edit. And I had another one in there, but this is the one that we just did. So if we press the play button on the sample editor, if you saw before, everything were these computer notes that can be moved around and everything. These are physical audio waves. And I think people that make music, there's something kind of nice about physical audio waves. So, say if I were sampling someone else's music, something that I would do here, let's go ahead and pretend like it's someone else's music and do something, the most simplest form of sample editing. So, this is what it would be too if I just press bounce to audio, it would put it in the sequence in time. But let's do this just to show you how it's done. So right now it's in chop, but we click here, now it's in trim. We press, we undo, okay, let's go here. And it says process. But what I need to do, I'm not seeing what I need it to do. And I'm wondering why. So let's exit out. Let's go back into sample edit. It's in trim. I think, okay, here's what I think is happening. I need to do a new track, and I need to do a new drum track. And let's go back in the sample edit. Now we do assign. Now that we have a drum track, we can assign that drum track. So we're gonna say assign that slice to a pad. Whoop, I don't think I actually did it. A slice to pad. And it's gonna be on pad 1, right here, pad 1. So we do that, we go back here, and it's gonna play that. That's really cool. So if I were someone that was trying to sample someone else's music, I would do this just to play through and make sure that I've got everything in alignment. But we're gonna do something a little bit more complicated than that today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press here, and we need to go back here to drum and this button and say delete track, so that's gone. What we just did is completely and utterly gone. So we're gonna go back into the sample edit. There it is. So what we do is we click off the trim, now we're in chop. So this is the most important thing that I wanted to talk to you about today. And that's the process of, wow, these geese are going crazy. Is basically the process of how do I go through, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I got some geese, they might fly by. Okay, so how am I gonna take these notes and how am I gonna be able to assign them to these pads to play it the way that, oh my gosh, there's baby geese running around. This is absolutely adorable. I don't know what's going on. Let's keep this going. Okay, so we have the manual chop, which the manual chop means I can press this. So what we've been essentially able to do, and say if you have issues with what you did and you don't see them in alignment, it's really easy to go in and change that alignment. And that's really cool. I like doing that, and there is a simplicity to it, and especially if you have good rhythm, you can do it pretty easily. Okay, so that sounds pretty nice, but I'm gonna show you some other options. So the other option would be to go to threshold. When we go to threshold, it's a 64 threshold. We can change that, because right now it's at 24, which is a lot. Now it's only at 1. Now it's at 13. Let's go down to 65? 66. Let's do 66. So that's cool. That's really good for drums because it picks up at a certain point and it's really good for sampling and chopping up drums. Let's go to regions. Now regions is just a straight up chop, and you can also go in and affect it that way too. BPM is essentially the same. It's the same as regions. So let's go to threshold again, because I actually like that. And there's 13. Let's do one more. Okay, so you could do this either way that you wanted. The important thing is we're gonna press shift here. We press shift and press convert. We don't want to assign it to a pad. We want to go new drum using slices. So I've now done a new drum using slices. We're gonna say do it. Now let's go into our new. So now we can play everything back. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna unmute this drum that I did earlier, but I'm gonna mute the piano that I played earlier. So now what I'm gonna show you is how I'm gonna be able to play with these pads. So let's go here, let's turn the multi-track record on, and let's press overdub, and let's just play around and see what we get. Okay, so we've essentially taken something that we had originally and we've turned it into something new. And what we can also do is we can go in here, as we're playing, let's go into the samples. We went into sample edit. Let's go back there. I I didn't say it. We go into track edit, and there's global, and in global we could change the sounds of all the samples. We can also change if it's polyphonic. When we have it on mono, it has that effect where it's playing each note once, which I think sounds pretty good. It has a choke on each one. So if we go into samples, if we click here, not here, if we click here, right now it's in multiple. Right here, this means that we're only gonna edit the sample that we're currently in. What we can do here is press warp. Let's change the BPM to 120, because that's what the actual BPM. Sometimes this thing gets it wrong. Let's say apply, and let's say do it. So you hear this one sample, but what I can do is I can go in and change that. But you see it hasn't affected the other samples, which is cool. You can also go in and you can press on all or multiple just to change the effect on different things. Now I had the BPM at 120 and pressing warp, because what I could do is, see right now, the tempo is at 113, but let's change it down all the way to 90 and see how this sounds. And it's still playing in time, which is cool. Well, I think my battery's running low, and I think the sunshine is going down, so I do believe that it's time for me to wrap this up. There's actually a whole bunch of things that I would love to talk about when it comes to sampling, and this is just scratching the surface. But in this video, I wanted to answer the question, why would I sample myself? What's the point? Why would you even do that? And I hope that I was able to answer it, and that I really simply just chopped up something that I did. But what you could do is you could chop up something that you did and then change it from the chorus to the verse to add variety to your song, and then change it in the bridge. So resampling yourself can add variation to a simple thing. It can also add a firmness to your music, in that you can take your MIDI and then you turn it into an actual audio file. And then when you do that, it feels like a more concrete thing. So it's pretty fun. There's a lot more elements to it, but I think the MPC is really good at sampling, and what we did today, it actually took me a pretty long time to wrap my head around it. I think this is actually the best in the game at that process. So if you want to do that, feel free to ask any comments below. It's simple once you've done it again and again. You might have to sleep on it, and there might be things about this video you got to go back in and recheck out. I know I certainly had to do that when I was learning to sample on here. It also might be a motivational, existential thing of, why do I even want to sample? Why would I even want to learn this complex process if I don't even know if I really want to do it, you know? So I would say just do it. For a long time I was trying to learn to sample, and everything I played sounded terrible, but that's okay. Just try it. Just try it, and it might sound bad at first, but eventually it's gonna sound cool. So if you like what I'm doing, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna keep making more beats outside. If you have any questions about making beats on your MPC Live 2, outside, trying to make professional beats more easily, feel free to click the link below. I've got a consultation on Google Meet you can set up, and we can do a 1-hour consultation on it. Thank you all so much for your support, and see y'all soon outside making beats on my MPC Live 2.